Good morning, what's shaking, what's happening? Welcome back to Tasty Bites, Tiny Travels. Today we are at the Brightline station in Orlando. We are going to embark on a premium train ride down to Fort Lauderdale as we catch our big adventure tomorrow. So join us as we take a trip on the Brightline, premium style. Alright, so the Brightline has been in Orlando for just over a year. The first time we took it was a little over a year ago. We've ridden premium every time on the way down to Fort Lauderdale, but this is, we've only got a one-way ticket this go around just because of how big the adventure is. This was the busiest we've ever seen the premium lounge. We're actually on the 12:05 train. Normally we go down at like the day of the cruise at like maybe 8, 9 o'clock train. Because this is such a big adventure, we decided to go to Fort Lauderdale a night early just to ensure there was no problems, that everything worked out smoothly. So we're actually on the 12:05 train, so a little different experience. The premium lounge and the premium ticket does include lounge food, not quite to the airport level club food, but it's still pretty good. And then the actual train travel, if it's breakfast, it includes a breakfast box. It includes drinks and snacks. So at lunchtime, I think it's a sandwich, but we will find out. A few things to note about the travel. Brightline has started imposing some very similar to airline fees. I had a bag that weighed 51 pounds, and so they were ready to charge me $20 over 1 pound. I had to move some luggage around last minute. So be mindful, they are weighing the bags, and they're very strict about that 50-pound limit. Also for the lounge, we got here at like 9:50. They did offer us earlier train just because of how busy the trains were. There was lots of space on an earlier train, but we declined. What we did not know was you don't have lounge access until 2 hours prior to your train, so we had to sit for like 10 minutes waiting to get into the lounge. It wasn't a deal breaker, it's just there's nowhere on their website, and no one could tell us what time we could access the lounge, but it's 2 hours. On the money, because it's an automated system to get into the lounge, so it was 10:05 before it let us in. On the money. All right, so good morning. This is not the Brightline train. Let me tell you, that is the 4th time we have taken the Brightline. It's always been premium all the way down to Fort Lauderdale. It was the most hectic I have ever seen that cabin. We were talking to one of the people at the premium lounge, and they said that the premium cabin's been selling out right now. It's the holiday season. It was January 3rd when we took that train ride. Totally get it. Saw the families coming back from the holidays, this, that, and the other. Totally get it, but it was packed. There was a child who kept running up and down the aisles. We guess missed the holiday season. She kept singing Jingle Bells. It was cute for about the first like 10 minutes. Then after that, it got kind of annoying, but eventually she stopped. But busy train ride. But thoughts on the Brightline other than how busy it was? Like I said, they've started nickel and diming just a little bit. You can't, if you find a cheaper fare, you take a Brightline credit. The train tickets have gone up immensely since the first time we've taken it. But there have been some perks. The lunch, we've had lunch one other time on the train, and it was just like a cold sandwich. The lunch this go on was really nice. My Cuban slider was really, really good. The coleslaw was pretty good. That was like a lemon tart that came with it. Really enjoyed it. So you got the quinoa salad. She's not a big quinoa fan, but she didn't really want a Cuban slider, and she wanted something nice and light. The fruit was really good. She liked she had a vegetable ribbon salad with it. So we both really enjoyed it. It was like a proper plated lunch, which is newer to us because, like I said, we've only had lunch one other time, and it was probably about a year ago, and it was a cold sandwich. So don't know if I would have eaten as much in the lounge had I known that we were going to get a proper lunch on the train as opposed to just and actually when we did the train last year and got lunch, it was a caprese sandwich or an Italian sub, and they ran out of the Italian sub, so it wasn't even a fulfilling lunch, which is why we took advantage of the lounge. Do want to make a note about the Brightline tickets. Like I said, if you find a cheaper fare, you can get a cheaper fare, but they only give it to you as a Brightline credit. So when I bought the tickets, I think I paid, I don't remember how much I paid, but I bought them, and then I would keep going in and checking, and I eventually got a total of $140 back in credit for the Brightline tickets, and I want to say I only paid like $328 when I actually bought them. So that actually paid, so when we come back in May, it actually paid for the tickets. I only had to pay for the luggage. So do keep checking to see if the price fluctuates down, because you can always reprice. It's just going to be in a Brightline credit. I don't know about for the one in May how much I'm going to check, because I'm not sure how much more we're going to come down to Fort Lauderdale, just because of how big this adventure is. Fort Lauderdale is not a close cruise port for us. I mean, it is, but it isn't, because it's just a Brightline trip away. But like I said, Brightline is starting to kind of creep up immensely in their pricing, so I don't know if it's going to be an economical choice for us that much anymore. But nonetheless, it's still a great experience. I highly suggest it if you're going from Orlando to Fort Lauderdale. I've priced it out versus plane tickets, and they're about the same, so maybe that's where their pricing's coming from. But it is a ton easier than having to deal with an airline. So that moves us on to what we're about to do. So we leave. Right now we're at the Embassy Suites on 17th Street in Fort Lauderdale. It is the closest Hilton property to the cruise port. It's like 6 minutes away, something like that, from the cruise terminal that we're going to go to. We are going to board Holland America's MS Rotterdam, and we are going to actually cruise the entire world. We're doing a world cruise, a grand voyage. I cannot believe I'm saying that. 124 nights. It is scheduled to go, and I say scheduled very loosely because these cruises, they're just so long. Things happen in the world. Things happen with people on the ship. It is scheduled to go to 34 countries, 6 days overnight, 2 and 2. Where are the overnights? Papeete, Sydney, Cape Town, Barcelona, Easter Island. There's another overnight somewhere. But I don't know. Maybe it's only 5. I don't know. I just read the description last night and it said 6, so I'll have to go back and look. But going to Rome, going to the Great Barrier Reef, lots of bucket list. Oh, Lima, Peru. That's the other overnight. We're actually there 3 nights. Or 2 nights because of Machu Picchu, but we will not be partaking in Machu Picchu. Its elevation is too high. We've gotten too old. But we are boarding a 124-day cruise, a night cruise, to go see the world. I am still as shocked that we were able to do it. So that is going to be our adventure. And let me tell you, it's an adventure. So we're about to take our massive amount of suitcases, because we booked it too late to do the luggage forwarding, and get in a lift and go see the world. So just so you know, we have 6 suitcases, 4 big ones and 2 carry-ons, plus a big bag of snacks and 2 backpacks. So hopefully it all fits in the room. But next time you see me, we will be boarding Holland America's grand voyage cruise around the world. Super excited. So hope you stick around. Hope you follow us along. See the adventures. We've got a lot of stuff planned. We've got a lot of puttering around at different places planned, and we've got some excursions planned. And you know, like I said, the world cruises, you plan a little, but you can't plan too much because things do change. You know, they've had to change the course on this cruise twice of this current itinerary, and then the past few world cruises they've had to change just because you can't use the Suez Canal right now to send passengers through. So you have to go around Africa. So it creates a bigger trip in Africa than originally anticipated, but I've never been to Africa, so I'm super excited. But it is 6 continents and 34 countries is what it's currently scheduled at, so can't wait. So see you in a bit.